at Jurassic Park. When they arrived at the park by helicopter, they would land at the base of the waterfall on the right here. So we're going to go take a look at it. This is Hanapepe Valley, or Jurassic Park in the movie. I mean, people say that about my bald spot all the time, but what do you think about the waterfall?
I love it.
Isn't it gorgeous? Now I'm going to take you out to the Waimea Canyon. You may have heard of this as known as the Grand Canyon of the Pacific. It's on the west end of Kauai, and it gets very little rainfall compared to the east side. As a result of that, it tends to look very dry and arid compared to this area here in particular. Look over on the right here. So Eliza Sinclair bought this valley, right? 1870, she builds a house up on the ridge here. She decides to live on Kauai as opposed to living on Niihau. So she built a mansion here. Then in more contemporary times, they built some summer homes. You can see right up on the front left here on the ridge. They have friends and family will come and visit, and they let them stay there. They still use that to this day, the Robinson family. But the home that was built in 1870 has been abandoned. Nobody lives in it anymore. But maybe once or twice a year, somebody will come up with a four-wheel drive vehicle, cut all the trees down so it doesn't bury the house in the trees. On the left side of the house as we go by, though, they did have other buildings there that have been overwhelmed by the jungle. See if you can see any when we see it. But also there's the family cemetery up in the back and right by the corner of the house, which is kind of interesting. That's right up in the back there. And people who live here on Kauai, excuse me, will never get to see this house. So we'll go take a look at it. You can see these a little bit more modern. That's their summer homes. And then way out in the distance, you can see if you were up here, the view she'd have of her island out there. She owned all the sugarcane crops down below us, Makaveli. Then if you look for the pine trees over on the right here, they put those up as a sunblock when the sun sets. The house will be on the right of them then. Take a look down on the trees here, you'll see these are called cook pines. They come from New Caledonia, just east of Australia. Remember the other buildings are in the trees on the left of the house as we go by. See if you can see any in there. There's about 6 of them. The cemetery is back up in the grass there by those red trees.
Yeah, I see them. Those little squares.
See the other buildings too in the trees. Now take a picture right in front of us. Show your friends and family who didn't know you went to Kauai on your vacation. Say, hey, guess where we went on our vacation? And they might say, Southern Utah, Arizona, something like that. This does not look like your stereotypical Hawaiian scenery here. But in fact, all of the islands have this kind of a dry, arid side. They take the water from up above in the rivers you can see below us to make aqueducts and divert the water down to the reservoirs where they would hold it for the sugarcane crops. Still do that, even though there's no sugarcane. Now this next valley is called Olokele, was actually given as a wedding gift. Could you imagine getting an entire valley on the island of Kauai as a wedding gift? And this was. A lot of times you get out into this area and you start to wonder what types of animals must there be here. When the first Polynesians came, there was only two, monk seals and hoary bats. Seals, of course, are along the shoreline, and the bats live up in the different areas higher up. Then about 800 AD, the first Polynesians arrived here from the Marquesas Islands near Tahiti. They would bring with them dogs, pigs, and chickens. You notice any chickens on Kauai? They were here since humans. Then about 1,000 years later, Captain Cook comes ashore on the left over here. He lands in the town of Waimea. He actually discovered Oahu and other islands first, but he did not take landfall till Kauai, so this is where he gets credit for discovering the islands. Maybe when you landed in Kona, you would have gone south to Kealakekua Bay, the Painted Church, the coffee farms. That's where Captain Cook lost his life a year after he discovered the islands. He had left here, gone up to Canada to find a passage above Canada, and decided to wait for the ice to melt by coming back here. And that's where he lands at Kealakekua Bay, gets into a conflict with the Hawaiians there, and loses his life. If you were to drive up here, it would take you 1 hour to get up to the west rim. There's no roads on the right here, on the east side, so I'm going to take you to the valley here on the east side called Wailai. This has a little waterfall here that makes it kind of fun. Even though there's not much rain here, we do get rain here, and so there's still waterfalls. Look down below you there, Paula.
That's amazing. Look at that waterfall.
If you look up on the left here, Cindy, you can see a waterfall back in there. Wouldn't it be kind of cool? I could drop you and Juan off there, come back in like an hour and pick you up. You do a little relaxing there.
Go ahead, do it.
Go ahead, make my day. All right. And look at the next valley here. This is called Kauai, which I think looks the most like the Grand Canyon in Arizona to me. See what you guys think. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful?